Hey guys, hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk Huntsville, episode number 6.
Yay!
Yes, ma'am, with Tim Knox and
Kim Savage.
Kim Savage. How are you today?
I am well. I'm just trying to stay dry today, stay out of the rain. I've got all my umbrellas.
Your hair looks amazing for it being such a rainy day.
That's because of all the umbrellas.
Because you got like a rain hat, 2 umbrellas, got a little guy with a golf umbrella behind her.
I noticed that men don't usually use umbrellas. Is that true?
You know, I think it's pretty true, and it's just kind of, we're in a hurry, we're not going to melt, we really obviously don't give a crap what our hair looks like.
You don't care so much about the hair.
The only time I will use an umbrella is if it's really like torrential.
That's when the umbrella like blows away though.
True that. So yeah, I do think it's a guy thing. We don't worry so much, but the weather here, last few days has just been wet.
It's been a little volatile.
Last night, had some thunderstorms, had some tornado watches, warnings coming through. Mm-hmm. I haven't heard if there was any damage. The only thing we got at my house in Madison was thunder and really heavy, but the winds were heavy all day.
Yeah.
And then here comes the rain last night. How about you?
It was a little unexpected, I felt like. So I'm in South Huntsville. I was already in bed by 9 p.m. like I normally am.
Like a good girl.
And the tornado siren went off. So the first thing that I did was get on out of my bed and open the door and see if there's a tornado out there.
You know what? I do that. It drives Melissa crazy because if they even come on the TV and say there's a tornado 2 states away, she's huddling up the dogs and getting in the bathtub. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to go outside and watch this come. I've always done that, and it drives her crazy. But there was a time when I had been outside working, which in itself is unusual, and I wasn't really paying attention to the weather. It looked like it might rain. So I went upstairs to take a shower.
Sure.
Well,
in the thunderstorm.
Well,
okay.
I just thought, it's a little rain, you know. Like, so here's the kicker. When I came out of the shower, I could not find my family. And they had all sheltered. My wife, my daughter, and it's like 8 dogs at the time. They were hiding under the stairs. And I opened the door and I'm like, what are you guys doing? And Melissa said, there's a tornado.
But they didn't think to get you?
They did not think to come upstairs and get me. And here's her reason. At least one parent had to survive.
Well, that is good, Melissa. I like the way Melissa thinks.
Yeah. I'm like, every time the weather gets better, like, I'm going to go take a shower.
They're like,
God forbid I die in the shower.
They'll show up eventually, right?
Yeah. I open the door. They're in there with flashlights having a great time, and I'm upstairs. And I'm like, you didn't think to tell me? And her thing was, if you were too dumb to miss a tornado and go, but I was very clean.
Yeah.
And it ended well. But yeah, last night was a little rough, and even today they're calling for some flash floods, which we don't really get here much.
No,
I don't remember that. We don't get a flood, period.
We'll have certain roads that get a little road flooding, but I feel like overall, not really.
Not a big deal. But the weather has been interesting. How has your week been?
My week's been good, other than the tornado warning.
Passing by. Yeah, I haven't heard if there was any damage or anything. I think mostly it was a lot of wind.
I think between Hazel Green and Newmarket, I read they got some pretty
substantial north of the city, the path.
winds and a little bit of damage. Yep. But that's all I've heard.
Yeah, one thing I noticed last night, we have for weather people, for meteorologists, TV weather people, these kind of storms are like, I don't want to say porn because that would be in bad taste, but you know what I mean. They eat this stuff up, right?
It is.
And so I noticed last night I had the TV on. I was upstairs working, and Melissa and everybody else was downstairs in the closet. But on Channel 19, we had like dueling meteorologists. Did you watch this?
I did. Well, I was watching Brad on WAFF.
Love Brad. I switched over to Brad.
The best part about those, though, is if you're watching the Facebook Live, the comments. Mm-hmm. The comments are the best. One lady said, like, I'm making spaghetti. Should I stop? And one lady said, my daughter is driving and the substantial winds and lightning. Should she stop? Should she take shelter?
You're going to Facebook seeking safety advice.
Probably at that point, yeah.
You remember years ago during the Cold War, before your time, you've probably seen a newsreel.
For sure, I've heard of
this.
It.
But they would, the kids would practice getting under their desk to protect them from a nuclear bomb.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, for sure.
So, in this day and age, if someone looked out their window and saw a nuclear mushroom cloud, they would get on Facebook and go, what should I do?
They'd Instagram it.
Should I finish my spaghetti? What, you idiot? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was really funny last night because I don't remember their names, but there's these two female meteorologists, weather people on Channel 19, and one wanted to talk about one thing and the other one wanted to talk about something else. And they were just stepping all over each other.
It's
It's
a
like
competition.
Oh my God! It's like,
all that.
hey, pay attention to me. The ball's in my court. But
Yeah.
it was so funny.
Yeah, they do compete. They volley back and forth. And I think there was one lady on WAFF as well, and they would cut to her, and the comments would be like, "Bring Brad
Yeah,
back."
we love Brad. He's been here a long time. So
Yeah.
But busy week. I have a health moment. Can we do a health moment in the
We
show?
can take a health moment.
And then we'll talk about things people are interested in, maybe. But
I think they're interested in your health, Tim.
well, I think so too, because I'm an important part of this. It would take her literally minutes to replace me.
I do a very good impression
do.
of him, though. Ask our
Oh,
agents.
you gotta
They
hear
love
this
my
one.
Tim impressions.
So, long story short, over the last couple of years, I've had some issues with blood pressure. And so my doctor, Dr. Kolb, we've been experimenting with a cocktail of pills.
Okay.
Which is not nearly as much fun as it was when I was a teenager. But
True.
Anyway, so it's my understanding that rarely do you get blood pressure problems under control with one medicine. You have to kind of do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, right?
Okay.
So for the last couple of years, I've been on this cocktail and everything has been fine. About 6 weeks ago,
Okay.
I go back for my checkup, and she has what I call the face of death.
Ooh.
She's looked at my numbers. She walks in and literally like, "Are you okay?"
Ooh,
And I'm
that's
like,
never
"Oh
good.
crap! I remember this face. I don't like this face." And apparently my cholesterol was off the charts. My blood pressure was so high, literally stroke level.
Oh, wow.
And so she's like, "Well, what have you changed? Because this has happened in the last 6 months." And so she goes over all my pills and everything, and she says, "Then, are you taking anything for your allergies?" And I said, "Zyrtec D." And
boy.
it's literally, make that sound. I can't do it. Oh, there it is. And apparently, Zyrtec D, you should not be taking if you are on blood pressure meds.
Okay.
And I didn't know this.
And you said, "Who knew?" And I said, "Well, it's a decongestant."
I said,
Of
"Who
course you
knew?" And
shouldn't
Kim
take
goes,
it.
"Well, everybody, you dummy." So anyway, went off of that. I could take with the regular Allegra I can take.
Okay.
Happy to report 6 weeks later, went back in this morning. Everything is good.
Healthy as a horse.
Healthy as a
they
horse. I
say.
have the bladder of a 6-month-old. Speaking of, so yeah, but I had no idea, and literally she looked at me like she was surprised I was there.
Yeah.
So kudos to Dr. Kolb for telling me to get off the D.
Good job, Doc.
Yep. So that is the highlight of my week. So let's talk about what's going on
Well,
here
let's
in
just, since
good
we're
old
talking
Huntsville.
about health, we're
Go right
just
ahead.
going to dive right on into what I before, just a little backstory here. Sometimes
Okay.
Tim and I will go back and forth and say, "What do you want to talk about this week?" And I said, "Oh, let's talk about Yoga Week coming up." And he responded, "Yawn." Yes,
Yeah.
yawn. And I
Yawn.
said, "Hey, Yoga
Let's
Week
do it
is
anyway."
exciting," and we're
Yeah.
doing it anyway.
Yep.
So, Light On Yoga Fitness has partnered with local businesses to provide free classes at all your favorite spots around town. They're
Wow.
going to be, it's Yoga Week. It's been a tradition in Huntsville for quite some time. It is March 20th through 26th. And it's a really popular, like there's a waiting list for some of these classes
Really?
sometimes. They're
Okay.
going to be at different spots around town during the week. Bridge Street, Old Black Bear, which we like that place. Burritt on the Mountain, Village of Providence, Stove House, the Space and Rocket Center, and Low Mill, and also at Orion Amphitheater.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a big deal.
You're not going to be able to swing a stick without hitting somebody in a downward dog
Yep.
position.
That's right, downward dog.
Yeah, I tried yoga once.
Really? How'd it go?
Yeah, not well.
No?
It was years ago when I was having some stomach issues.
Oh, gosh.
But
Do we want to hear this story?
yeah, it
Okay.
ended well for me.
All right.
Yeah, Chelsea, this
Your
had to
daughter?
be 15, 20 years ago. My daughter
Okay.
Chelsea wanted to do yoga, and she thought it would be a fun activity for her and dad to do.
Sure.
Meaning, Kim, she couldn't find anybody else to do it.
You were a last resort.
It's kind of like, I was Melissa's last resort when we
Yes.
went on our first date. And so I go, and granted, I had to probably be, I don't know, I was only like 45, 50. I was
Okay,
a young
you were
man,
youngin',
right?
yeah.
And so we're doing all these stretches and this upward snake and downward
Downward
dog, whatever. And so I kind of got in the downward dog position, and something
I know
somewhat embarrassing happened.
Oh, boy.
In a very quiet room. In a very quiet room with no ventilation.
Well, it happens when you're doing yoga.
Well,
Noises
they
happen.
looked at me like it had never happened before. Apparently, the only position I mastered was farting dog.
Farting dog. That's
True story.
a great story.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
I know. I have no
that
dignity
explains
whatsoever.
why you've not been back to yoga.
I haven't. My other daughter, Sierra, she does the hot works, the hot yoga.
I love hot yoga.
Oh my gosh!
It's
I mean,
great.
you talk about some sweating, but they say that's really good for you because it limbers you up. I'm 62-ish.
Yeah.
Should I do yoga? Will
Absolutely.
it make me live longer?
I think
or will
everyone
it just
should do
feel
yoga.
like it?
But
You're a yoga person.
I've been a
though.
yoga instructor for, I've had a yoga certification for.
She walks in with her feet behind her head
Stop.
every morning. What else is going on?
All right, let's talk about this little place in Scottsboro.
Okay.
It's called Voltage Music Hall, and they're having I think it's their first Music and Arts Festival. It's March 24th through 26th. They have
Cool.
some. Now, these are probably for the younger folks, because I don't know that we know these names, but I'm just going to
There's
say.
no George Jones there.
Spirit Troll, Moon Tree, Sonic Heat, and No Sense are going to be at the music festival. We don't know them, but they probably are very popular.
Those are bands, I would think?
Yes, they are bands. They had actually a rap battle there last week. So I think
Wow.
maybe this is for the younger folks
The
out
younger
there.
crowd.
But I think it's nice, a little music
Yeah.
hall in Scottsboro.
Yeah, Scottsboro is what, an hour to the east?
Yeah, it depends on where you
northeast-ish?
are. From here at the studio, probably an hour.
Well, I'm talking about just Huntsville
Yeah,
in general.
Huntsville in general.
Not my position here in the GPS.
Yeah.
There's a lot of venues. I had someone comment the other day that we talk a lot about the Orion Amphitheater, and just because I like to tell my Stevie Nicks story.
Sure.
But there are more venues here.
Yes.
And a lot more to do. One that has been here for years and we never talk about is the Civic Center, the
Well-
Von Braun Civic Center.
The Von Braun Center.
The what?
He said that earlier, Civic Center.
It's called the Civic
It's
Center.
not a civic center anymore.
It's not?
In 1997, it changed.
97.
I did some research. It
Wow.
changed from being called a civic center to just being called Von Braun Center.
Wow.
Because it sounds better. It's more hip. you
Yeah.
know?
It's more
Yeah.
than the Civic Center. It's like before the Civic Center was here, there was the Coliseum. Do you remember the Coliseum?
Ooh, yeah,
Or was that
yeah,
before
yeah.
your time?
Well, it was before I was here, but I remember in my hometown we did have a Coliseum.
Yeah, and it was like the Armory or something in it. But at the Von Braun Center, she looked at me like, "What's a Civic Center?"
I was like, what's the civic center?
Lots going on because they've got that big arena. They got the Mark Smith Music Hall.
Yeah.
It's really just
a great place.
it's a great venue. It's been a lot of remodeling going on. Huntsville Havoc and the Rail Yard Dogs are playing. The Havoc is our local semi-pro hockey team. You ever go to the Havoc games?
I like the Havoc
You like
games.
hockey?
I think they're fun. I like the violence of the hockey games. I'm not
I
gonna
know
lie.
you do. I went to a fight and a hockey game broke out.
Yeah.
So the Havoc plays all of their games. Monster Jam. How do you feel about the monster trucks?
I mean, I don't mind them.
They're loud.
They are loud.
I have gone to those, and right there in the arena, basically that arena is so cool because for the Havoc, they ice it over.
Yeah.
For the Monster Jam, they defrost it and bring in
I
dirt.
wonder how they do that. That seems like a lot of work.
It's magic, I think. It seems like a lot. 3 guys with shovels going, oh my God.
We got to do this again?
Yeah, so Monster Jam. And I got to tell you, welcome to the South. Our big monster truck rallies are big here.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah,
I think
they
they're
are
fun.
fun.
That's like what, like a 3 or 4 day event?
It
that
is.
Monster
It's a 3 or
Jam.
4 day event, and it is loud. So if you go, take some
They
earplugs.
should just do it on ice. It should be Monster Jam on ice.
Oh my God, you're.
Brilliant.
I have the most smartest partner. She's just the most smartest. Okay, and then there's some more. Disney on Ice. Are you a fan of the Ice Capades, the Disney on Ice type stuff?
I've never been a
Yeah,
fan of the ice capades or like the ice.
Well, the kids like it though. Disney on Ice is
kids
primarily
love
for
it.
the kids. You were telling me earlier you're not a fan of the Disney movie or the Pixar.
I mean, I guess I'm just not really a big fan of Disney. I mean, Pixar. I probably like Pixar better than Disney.
Yeah.
I think it's like it's like Marvel and DC. Like you're either on kind of like on one side or the other. I
Which
feel
side
like
of the fence are you on there?
I think I'm DC.
Are you?
I don't
Kind
know
of a
if I
Batman,
should say.
Superman?
Well, you know, I like my Catwoman stuff. So
We have pictures. We
Come
know.
on, yeah.
You never know what Kim's going to come dressed as to work.
well,
She comes in dressed as Catwoman. It's not Halloween. It's just Kim.
Isn't it Halloween somewhere?
It's always Halloween somewhere. So a lot coming to the Civic Center. There are other places here. Stand Up Live is
I like Stand Up
one.
Live.
Stand Up Live is our local comedy club. And, you know, some background on that. We used to have a comedy club here back in the late 80s. I actually worked there. I was the host and the opener at the comedy. Yeah, back when I was funny.
I watched your YouTube comedy. It was pretty funny.
Well,
it was
bless you,
mildly
my dear.
funny.
It was mildly funny, which is all I went for. But some really big names coming in. We'll link to this. Steve Byrne, I don't know if you remember or know who Steve is, but he's a big national. Now, I got to tell you, a lot of these comedians I never heard of.
I can't say that I've heard of most of them
Yeah,
either.
and
but,
Cletus T.
you know,
Judd, you've heard of him. He's like a redneck comedian of some sort.
Okay.
Cletus T. Judd, he does a lot of song parodies.
I don't
but
know him either.
I noticed as you go on down, Tig Notaro, she's huge.
Tig Notaro.
She's
I've seen her on a TV show or something.
She's very good. A couple of Henry Cho.
Oh, Henry Cho.
You gotta love Henry Cho.
There's one I've heard of.
Yeah, Henry Cho is like a Korean guy from Texas.
Yeah.
And he sounds like Jeff Foxworthy, but he looks like Henry Cho.
Yeah,
So,
he's hilarious.
one of my favorites, Anthony Jeselnik. Have you ever seen his?
Don't know him.
One of the funniest comedians. He's going to be here.
Okay.
And then there are a couple of more. Jay Farrow. I
Oh,
love
yeah,
Saturday
Jay
Night
Farrow.
Live.
Mhm.
Jay Farrow does 200 impressions.
Wow.
And not only does he sound like his face contorts.
Nice.
But anyway, so we do have a comedy. Oh, look at
Okay.
this, Jeff Ross.
Stand Up Live.
Jeff Ross is the Roastmeister King. So
Okay.
yeah, we do have it's an excellent venue here. It's called Stand Up Live. You can eat, you can drink. I think the last time I went to see Ralphie May. Were you a Ralphie May
I
fan?
am not a fan necessarily. I'm not sure I know who it is. I know the
Well,
name.
he's passed away now, so it's not going to matter. But anyway, so
Rest in
yeah,
peace,
a lot
Ralphie.
of things to do in Huntsville. Do you have
Yeah.
something else going on?
Oh, I've got oodles of stuff going on in Huntsville.
See, Kim does a nice printout. I just look at the computer and I cheat.
I'm a printout. You know,
You really
some
are.
people are printout people and some people are
And
not.
that is
I
the
like to
biggest
print things out.
font.
I have to be able to
That's
see
a large
it.
font. Kim goes through a ream of paper every show.
I like books. I like paper. I like notebooks. Yeah,
What do we got?
I'm that kind of person.
You are.
Well, we were talking about entertainment, so I wanted to mention. I mentioned Voltage. I wanted to mention Frederick's Outdoor.
What
Now-
is Frederick's Outdoor?
So it's an outdoor store. They sell like tractors and
Okay.
maybe like boats. You know, I'm not
Outdoor
sure.
things.
Outdoor things. Their address is actually Decatur.
Okay.
But I believe they're on like the Priceville. That's
What did you
that's
just
my,
say?
That's my Priceville accent.
Did you say Priceville?
When I first moved here, someone said something about a place in Priceville. They didn't say it like
Priceville.
that, but I said Priceville, and they're like, you can't say it like that. It's Priceville. So
then again,
now
so it's-
I always say Priceville, and you
So-
make that thing like you make that face when
Yeah.
you say Priceville.
So it's not, there's Priceville, there's Hartsville.
Hartsville,
And then, but if you're in Huntsville,
Huntsville.
that's where all the uppity people
Well,
are.
yeah, we're the city uppity
You
people.
don't want to call it Huntsville. Because they'll go, you're from Decatur.
So they have
Anyway.
at Frederick's Outdoor, they have a great like outdoor area. It's called the Farm.
Okay.
They have had acts like Charlie Daniels Band, Marty Stewart, Montgomery Gentry, Justin Moore, Dustin Lynch, and on April 15th they're going to have Marshall Tucker
No
Band.
way. Is he still alive?
I have no idea. I guess so.
Marshall Tucker actually wasn't a guy. It was just the name of the band.
Yeah.
But they've been around since my high school days.
Yeah, heard it in a love song.
Can't you see?
Can't you
Heard
see?
it in a love song's good.
Yeah.
The
So that's-
lead singer, I think his name was Toy Caldwell.
Okay, that's a little
There's
bit
some
of
trivia you don't care about.
for
but-
sure.
Yeah, but you know, Marshall Tucker's still touring. Charlie Daniels, as you said, when he was alive, he was
Yeah.
huger. But Leonard Skinner, I mean, those guys come in walkers and just knock it out.
They can
Well,
still do
they-
it, right?
Yeah, they really can.
Yeah, that's funny.
Sweet Home Alabama's a little slower now.
It is,
yeah.
it is. And I also wanted to mention I think we have a new brewery opening up over on Lehman Ferry.
Well, Lord, we needed another one.
This one's called Back 40 Beer, and I see
Yeah.
that they have one in Gadsden and one in Birmingham, I think. And I heard through the grapevine that they're opening one on Lehman Ferry and Airport.
Wow. Are you a fan of the craft brew?
Not necessarily. I like a beer every now and then, but I like the breweries. I think it's
Yeah,
a
you
nice.
like the
I think it's a nice
atmosphere.
environment. Yeah, it's
They
kick
usually
back
have
and
good
a beer,
food.
and a lot of times they have music.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
well, we've got a number of them here. There's, what am I on? I'm on wearehuntsville.com, and they actually have a listing of the different breweries.
Yeah.
Bowler Hat Brewing.
Bowler
I can't
Hat?
even say it. You say it.
Bowler
Bowler-
Hat Brewing.
You can't say
See,
it
I
either.
can't see it either. Bowler Hat Brewing.
All right, Chandler's Ford Brewing, Fractal Brewing. I've heard about that one.
Fractal's a good one.
Green Bus, Inner Space, Mad Malts. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Old Black Bear, we've been there.
They have a great burger.
Yep, Rocket Republic, been there. Salty Nut. Come down to the Salty Nut.
Salty Nut's a small one,
Yeah.
but I think, I've heard that's a great
Yeah.
one too.
Was it Straight to Ale that kind of started the whole brewery thing here?
I
or am
really
wrong?
think that Straight to Ale was one of the first that I
Yeah.
can remember because now they're on Clinton at the
Mm-hmm.
old school, Campus 805, but they used to be on Lehman Ferry.
Right.
But I feel like they must have been, if
Yeah.
not the first, one of the first. For
They
sure.
were had to be one of the first. Now you mentioned Lehman Ferry.
Mm-hmm.
That area down there is really about to come back because that's where they're building they're redoing the Joe Davis Stadium
Right.
for the soccer team.
Yeah.
Or is it football?
Either way.
Whatever.
Football,
so,
soccer.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
We needed another brewery.
Well, in that area, that area is just growing, like
It
I say,
is.
growing like a weed. But it's, it's great. I love that South Huntsville area.
That's South Huntsville.
I love it.
Growing like a
Yeah,
weed.
that's all I got.
All right. A couple of things I wanted to mention really quickly. Clift Farm, which is one of the multi-use developments out in Madison. You know about growing like a weed.
Yeah.
My goodness, they've got about. Hang on a second. Let me turn this
Got a
off.
little advertisement
Yeah, a
popping
little,
in
little
there.
ad there.
It's okay.
Anyway, Clift Farm is houses, condos, patio
Yeah.
homes, retail. It's one of those multi-use walkable communities. They have just announced that they have 12 more stores coming to the biz. So tell me if you've heard of any of these.
Yes.
Hand and Stone Massage.
Yes.
Of course. Supercuts.
Supercuts.
Have you ever had your hair cut at a supercut, Kim?
I have not actually, but when I was a kid, we used to go to Regis. I don't know why I had to throw that in
Yeah.
there.
Well, I'm a cost cutter guy.
Yeah.
No, Roosters.
You go to Roosters.
I go to Roosters
Yeah.
because
But you probably used to go to like.
I did go to
somewhere
Cost
else.
Cutter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
My hair's not hard to cut.
Sure.
I mean, I could go to a barber school and come out looking okay. Verizon, of course. Big Daddy's Burger Bar. Have you heard of this?
Oh
one?
yeah, it's good. There's
it?
one on South Parkway.
Oh, wow. What is
it's great.
Kava?
Kava is so it used to be. It used to be something else. I don't remember what. I can't think of
That's
it now.
helpful.
But it's now Kava, and they
What do
have
they
one
do?
in
What
South
do they-
Huntsville. It's like Mediterranean, like they do bowls,
Oh,
like
okay.
healthy bowls.
Oh, it's a
Maybe you
restaurant.
should look into that.
What are you trying to say, Kim?
No, well, with your blood pressure and all.
No. Five Guys. There's where I'm going to be. I love my
Guys.
Five Guys.
Five Guys is
Culver's. I like Culver's too. I
They
actually
have
like
custard?
They
Custard
have the all kinds of custard, but their fries are amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, their fries are amazing.
Good fries. Good fries.
Oh my God, Nothing Bundt Cakes,
Yay,
my favorite.
nothing but cakes.
You might remember a couple of weeks ago we talked about the Valentine fiasco where Kim went and bought 24 Nothing Bundt Cakes,
2
and I left
dozen.
them at work.
Poor
What is
Melissa.
walk-ons?
Never heard of it.
All right, Starbucks.
Starbucks.
Need another one of those, like a
Yeah.
shot in the head.
But
And
they're
then
always busy.
They really are. And then Jim and Nick's Barbecue.
Oh, I love Jim and Nick's too.
So that area there is just growing like crazy. They are
Yeah.
leveling off the land and putting up the buildings. So Clift Farm is really, and that just means the traffic in Madison gets worse.
Yeah,
I,
definitely. But if you live at Cliff Farm, you hardly need to
There
leave.
you go. You just walk
There's a
around.
Publix there. There's a Hot Works there. There's a Hollywood
There's a
Feed
Mama
there.
Mia's or Mama
Taco
Tia's.
Mama.
Close enough.
There's a Valvoline oil change place.
There
There's a
is.
preschool and daycare. I mean,
They have a lot.
Live,
They
work,
really
shop, everything.
do. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. All right, so we talked about the brewery.
Yeah.
Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention because
Yeah.
we are fans of this one. Huntsville Donut Shop ranked among the best in America by Yelp.
Yep,
Did you hear about this?
I did.
The Donut King in Eufaula. Let me back up here. For many people, donuts are the perfect sweet treat. Love them.
Yep.
Luckily for those in Alabama, several donut spots in the state were listed on Yelp's top 100 U.S. donut shops. The Donut King in Eufaula came in the highest at number 31, while Bigfoot Little Donuts
Yep, from Little
that
Old
people
Huntsville.
bring us all the time. Every time I go to the doctor, she's like, "You been eating those Bigfoot donuts people bring in?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got." And then Lickin' Good Donuts in Gulf Shores. So the one that is not on the list, which is my favorite, Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme's your favorite?
Love the Krispy Kremes.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat a good hot Krispy Kreme donut.
You really can't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been there forever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so much happening in the world here in North
Yes.
Alabama. So, who are we talking to this week on the agent interview?
One of our rock star agents, Miss Katrina Washington Hines.
I love her.
We all love her.
You better. Let's see what she has to say.
Well, hey guys, it is Kim here in the studio with one of our rock star agents, Miss Katrina Washington Hines. Say hello to everyone.
Hi everyone, glad to be here.
We are always so glad to have you here, Katrina, because you are literally like a bright light when you walk in the door, your smiling face, and your just infectious laughter. We love having you here.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit, for someone who doesn't know you, give us everything, wrap it up.
Okay, so I'm one of the realtors here. I've been here for probably a year and a half now. I've had my license for about 2 years, and love being a real estate agent and taking care of my clients here in the Huntsville area, North Alabama area. But have been in real estate as an investor for about 8 years now. Me and my husband, we do a lot of things. We buy and flip. We do mobile home buy and flips. We have a mobile home park. And most recently, I am looking to getting into Airbnb. So,
So
I just
a
try to
little
do
bit of everything for you.
I do. I try to do kind of everything in the world of real estate.
You really do. You really do. So you go everything from, like you said, you and your husband do everything from mobile homes, just, single family residences, and you even do like luxury, what you would call someone's dream home. Like there's no realm that she doesn't cover, guys, right?
Absolutely. No, I try to be in every part of it. Me and Kim talk about this all the time. I tell her like this is really my passion. So, because sometimes things in real estate won't always go the way that you want it to.
They
and that's
usually don't.
I mean, that's life all the time. But, real estate can throw you a curveball. But I absolutely love what I do. I love taking care of my clients and making sure that they're happy and that I'm representing Revolved Realty in the best way I can. So I absolutely love it.
And you do. We have had clients call and just tell us how awesome you are. And I've seen your reviews. So you're definitely one of our rock star agents, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how long have you been in Huntsville?
I've been here in Huntsville since 2005.
Okay.
So it's been, oh my God.
You're almost
almost
a
20
local
years?
at this point.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, almost 20 years. But you know what? I've seen Huntsville grow so much. So if you're watching this video and thinking about migrating over here to Huntsville, Alabama and the surrounding areas, I would say do it. It's a fantastic place
It really
to
is.
live and to buy a home, raise a family, start your career.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever you want to do, there's so many opportunities here.
Absolutely. And she and I, we like to get out and have lunches and see what's going on. So if you have any questions, talk to one of us. We're glad to tell you what's going on, right?
Yeah, definitely.
We know all the places to eat.
Yeah. One of my favorites is actually, I love Rhythm on Monroe.
Oh, yeah.
So shout out to Rhythm
a good
on Monroe downtown. But they have a nice rooftop where you can just, especially like in the spring and fall, you can sit on a rooftop and eat and enjoy drinks and, just have a good time with friends and family and stuff. So that's a really great place to go here in Huntsville.
Yeah, absolutely. We have so many great areas. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're right about spring and the rooftop.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the best.
It is. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in and talking to me for a few minutes, Katrina.
Of course. Yes.
All right. And tell everyone what's your phone number if they want to get a hold of you.
Okay, so if you want one of the best agents here in Huntsville to help you buy or sell property, you can reach me at 256-658-9276 or email me at katrina@revolved.com. I would love to help you, take care of you. It would be my honor. So
Oh, that's
my
nice.
information.
I love that. And she will take good care of you for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. That's a wrap.
All right.
Thanks for coming in. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Katrina is just a dynamo.
She is a
I
dynamo.
love
We from the moment that we met, she and I just clicked. We just
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
her
she
energy.
she and Chelsea, my daughter, they go to the gym together, and from what I understand, when they're there, you know they're there.
Oh, for sure. A couple
Very,
of
very
couple of
loud.
dynamos.
So, all right. Well, hey, we hope you enjoyed the show this week, our rants and ramblings. Thank God if we're alive next week, and I haven't eaten enough donuts, we'll maybe be back.
Avoid the donuts and the storms, and you'll be okay.
Yep, you're going to be okay. So, hey, don't forget, if you need anything when it comes to real estate, Revolved Realty is here for you. Whether you are moving here or already here, we are the fastest growing little brokerage in town. Almost 100 agents now. Number 15 out of 500 last year.
That's pretty
I'm
awesome.
going to have that tattooed on my forehead. That's pretty good.
That's
So,
pretty good.
anyway, if we can do anything to help you, give us a call. Or if you are an agent and you would like to join this merry band, we refer to ourselves as the Island of Misfit Toys. And I think
We'll
seeing
take it.
Katrina, you can understand why. So, all right, guys, that's it. Have a great week. We'll see you next time. Bye.